Hello everyone, welcome to this session 2 on Tangle Bouquets. Basically, we'll be using Zentangle patterns to create beautiful bouquets or create a jungle of tangles which look like a bouquet, mostly botanical organic patterns, right? So, for today, I have already done some groundwork. This is again an A5 size paper. And what I've done is again wet the complete paper just like the way I showed you in the last session on Senna. I had wet the paper and then used my color panel or the blocks to dab some colors here and there. So the only thought process that went behind was a little brown where I'll be drawing a basket kind of thing, some colors for flowers here, and then as we move towards the top of the page, then more of green for the leaves, right? So that was basically the thought process when I just put the colors with the brush, right? And this is now dry and ready for tangling. So let us get started. So as I mentioned earlier also, I'll be using mostly new patterns, not these Zentangle originals, probably a mix of two. And whatever patterns I'll be using, I'll be mentioning their name, and you can find the step outs on pattern collections or tanglepatterns.com, right? So the names will probably help you find the step outs in case you're not comfortable still after seeing me draw, right? So let's get started right away. Again, for a reference, I'm going to add a little pencil line here for my basket. Yeah, so I'm going to draw a basket kind of thing here below, right? And then I'm going to add flowers and mix of petals, creepers, all that we drew in the previous session, but a different mix of tangles today. Yeah, so let's get started right away. So the first thing I'm going to start with is a tangle called Citrus, right? So Citrus is a tangle by CZT Sanyukta. In case I'm not pronouncing the name correctly, please pardon me for that. So this is the pattern Citrus. So I drew a circle. I have just cut the circle from here because probably the beginning of the basket will go from here. So, and then I am adding these conical shapes inside. So this is my micron 02, as I mentioned in my previous session also. Because the paper is little coarse, so I don't want to be spoiling the nib of A01. So now adding auras, simple auras. You can add any other thing inside, so entirely up to you. Generally the pattern is drawn in this fashion. Yeah. So again, I'm first starting with flowers and tangles which look like flowers, which will occupy a major portion of the basket, and then I will add on the leaves and the creepers and other things, right? So that's the general approach that I take. So that's one, and then probably I will add one more like this, the same tangle, that is Citrus. Right, and just zoom in a little so that it is clearer. Yeah, simple tangle. Again, you can add those auras. You can also add some highlights if you want. Looks nice. Which means just break the line in between instead of absolutely perfect lines. Yeah, small little variation that you can do. So it just looks like a piece of lemon, probably, or orange. Yeah, so two of them drawn here. Probably I'll draw one more here, which is, you know, kind of coming out of my basket. So I'm just taking the pencil line as a reference that my basket will be, you know, coming there or starting from there, right? And then again the same exercise. So you can use the same grid and add other patterns inside. Right, so this is the pattern Citrus. Looks nice in when you are drawing a combination of tangles, right? Yeah. Then let us move on to another flower pattern, which is called Ying, Y-I-N-G, by CZT Sanyukta. So I've just started with a circle, small orb, and then adding a line and an orb at the end. Right, so this is again a organic flower tangle, very simple to draw, just like any other Zentangle pattern, right? And then I'm going to add petal shapes like this, right? So again, second one, third one, fourth one. Simple tangle to draw. Beautiful flower pattern called Ying. Yeah, if you want to improvise, you can add small little here. So it looks more fuller. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one flower pattern. We'll draw one or two more, probably one here, the same pattern. Right, so I am filling up basically since I have put in some color. So I'm trying to bifurcate my things, add my flowers in approximately this area, and then we move on to the leaves, right? So that's what is working at the back of my mind. However, it's okay if you don't draw in that fashion and just gradually move from flower to petals to creepers. That's okay. The background will add anyways, right? So second Ying, again you can add, so probably I'll add a little moon here, right? Small little things that you can do to your tangles to enhance the look or create a tangulation by combining it with some other pattern. Right? So those are two flowers. Now I'm going to add probably one more flower here, and which is called the Toodles flower, right? So Toodles flower is by Ina Sonnen Moser. Basically Toodles arranged like a flower. So I am again adding these festive kind of shapes emanating from a center orb, right? Just the way I drew the pattern bluster in my previous session, starts in exactly the same way. Right? And then I'm going to add a part of the Toodles like this. So what I have done here is gone up, come down. So the shape is that of Toodles, just that it is cut into half. So beautiful shape and nice use of the pattern Toodles. Again, as I told you, most of the tangles in Zentangle can be used as flower tangles also. It's just a matter of arrangement. So we name it Toodles flower, right? Although it can comfortably be called a Toodles tangulation. So I'm going to add auras in this in between section. If you wish, you can ink it. It will look nice. As I mentioned earlier also, small little ink portions look nice. So till now I am just independently drawing my citrus, my flowers. I have still not started to merge or link my tangles. So we shall do that now once that we have added sufficient number of flowers and citrus probably, right? So let us get started, and now let us add some leaves, or probably I will start with the basket first. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of ink my basket now so that I have a broad reference where what. Right, and this will come like this. Right, so here I'm going to add probably changing just to indicate the top of the basket, but first let us not start with top, let us start with the bottom. So I am drawing these stripes, right, and I'm going to draw a simple pattern called Ragz by Christina Vanderblitz, right? So it starts like this. It's a simple pattern, just like we draw the pattern Betweed, right? So it starts in the same fashion, simple pattern. I'm using it here because it has a nice woven look generally seen on baskets. Yeah, so simple pattern to draw, simple strokes, just one stroke, that is line. Right, and just add a little touch of ink or weight at these points. That's why I said it looks like Betweed only. Right, so I'll do that again. So the lines are almost perpendicular to each other. That's the key, I think. Yeah, simple. So you can see how the brown is automatically adding to the basket. So that was the only thought process. that went into putting the colors where what. Yeah, so basically gradually moved on from browns to reds and pinks and maroons and then to greens. Yeah, so if I put colors, probably I'll do one session where I add colors after drawing. You have to be a bit careful there because you can't really add water on ink, so you need to be a little careful. So the third row, the same pattern, which is Ragz, R-A-G-Z. Yeah, and again a little weight. Right, so the bottom of my basket is ready. I'm now going to first start with some creepers. Right, so I'm going to add these lines. This is a tangle called Wist, W-I-S-T, by Michelle Beauchamp. Now going to add 8s like these. Simple pattern to draw. What I did is added these lines and now going to add 8s over it. Small ones, big ones. Nice little creeper. Right? Sweet looking tangle. Again, I'm going to add one more like this. Probably you can do the same, both the exercises at the same time. That would be better. Yeah. So add a line and add an 8 over it. Add a line, add an 8 over it. Yeah. Simple, delicate pattern. Yeah, and then probably 1 or 2 here. So go slow, add a line, add an 8 over it. Yeah. Some small ones, right? And then you can also add some bead lines. So let us first probably add some more creepers here. So I'll probably add some bead lines, which is by Margaret Bremer, CZT. So nice idea, simple tangle, adds a lot of delicacy. Right, so I'm not thinking much here, just going with the flow. Whatever spaces are there, I want things coming on the basket, right? So that's why I'm drawing in such a fashion, and then I will draw the rest of the basket. Right, so let us continue with our basket now. So this is the pattern changing, and I am adding this to the top of the basket. right? So drawing from in between, yeah, and I'll come up now. Yeah, yeah, I think that's the top of the basket, and then one more layer of my rags. Right? And then that little weight, right? And then probably we'll fit in something or extend the same thing there. Don't forget to fill in these small little spaces in between your changing, because it adds a lot to the look of the pattern. Small tiny spaces, yeah. Yeah, and probably this area also you can just complete the thing. Yeah, be a little careful, lot of drawing behind here. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so let us now move on to leaves. So these spaces, we'll see what do we want to do. So I'm now moving on gradually to my leaves. So starting with a leaf pattern called Auraleah by Kyla Preece. Right, so I'll show you again a stem. Started with the small hump, then the other side, then the other side. Just give a slight curl to the lines as you start and to the end, as if they are wrapped around the center stem. That's the only thing about this pattern. Yeah, so I'm now slowly moving on to leaves. Again, you can add some patterns in between. We'll see when we have to fill up. We'll see what other patterns. Since yeah, you can add the other side of the basket also, I think a little, because it will be visible here. So I'm now going to add some hidden citrus here. Yeah, one or two, and this chain will be coming somewhere here also, so we'll see that, we'll complete that. Adding one more Auraleah. Yeah, nice leaf pattern. Nice flow to the pattern. Yeah, another very nice pattern is Allium. First we'll draw one or two more Auraleah here. So a slight curve at the beginning and at the end of this curvy line is all that you need to get that look, curled up leaf. Right, now let us add some Allium. So starts similar way, but we'll be adding auras inside and then inking it. Right, so I'm auraing the space inside the way it is, and now I'm going to leave the outer aura and start inking alternate auras. So that's one more petal tangle, leaf tangle, that is pretty nice to draw, very simple to draw. Right, so I'm drawing in front of you, you can see how it is drawn, and I'm naming the pattern. I'll name the pattern in the video also once I release it, so you can find the step outs also. This is a pattern called Allium by JJ La Barbera. Yeah, so again adding the same tangle here. So now I am slowly graduating to the green part. Since I'm moving on to the leaves, so I am extending there. So drew a leaf shape and then adding auras inside, leaving one outer aura and then inking alternate auras. Right, and then next two. So you can see how we are slowly building up on our basket, not thinking much where, just graduating from flowers to petals, leaves, creepers. Yeah, that's how I generally build up. Again, you can have a different approach. Adding one more of Allium. Right, I'm sorry, some Wist. You can have more beadlines. Moving on to inking our Allium. Probably we'll add one more here. Yeah, so let me ink these two. So done with coloring my alliums, and then now again adding some Wist. Yeah, here and there. Bead lines. Right, you can add a citrus here or there, some hidden ones. Same manner. Yeah, I'm now just extending my centerpiece using my creepers, bead lines. Now let us move on to filling up the in-between space. So let us pick up one filler. So you can use any filler of your choice. Let us pick up Printum, my go-to tangle. I'm just going to add some Printums and fill up the in-between spaces using a combination of Printums and probably one or two more tangles like tipple or something. Yeah, so now it's the time for fillers, the small little spaces left here and there. So this part will probably show a little bit here, not much. You don't need to do much here. Again, I'm going to draw some hidden Printums here and there. Yeah, again pick up a filler of your choice. Something like tipple also looks nice. Flux, anything you like. Probably add some orbs here and there. So you can see how I am moving from one level. First added the flowers, then the leaves, the creepers, then filling up the in-between spaces, right? So you can comfortably follow that sequence if you are not very comfortable when, where, what. A little inking here and there always adds. Yeah. So again, you have spaces in between. Wherever you have spaces, just push in few tipples or some more of the creepers. Yeah. Adding my Printums. Again, you can add some bead lines. Fescues are always a nice idea. You can insert it anywhere, everywhere. So you can always insert things like these which always appear on creepers, orbs, caviars. So that's basically embellishing, right? So you're extending things now so that it looks more fuller and complete. There are more spaces in between, just fill it up. Add a filler of your choice. No hard and fast rule. Add flux. Right, so I think that's about it. We can now move on to shading comfortably. Yeah, let us close it here and move on to shading, and we shall see if we want to add anything else. Yeah. So that's how we built on our basket today. First started with a part of my basket, then added my citrus and my flowers, then moving on to the leaves, and then creepers, and then finally fillers. Yeah, so let us first shade. So I'm now going to add some graphite on two sides of my rags. Right, so again adding some on one side, or probably we'll do that on both sides so that the center looks like curled up. Yeah, because there is stuff inside, there is mud and there are a lot of things inside, so probably it will have a shape of its own. Yeah, so let's blend that first. So you don't want to blend too much because you want the colors to show. Yeah, but you do want to shade because it will definitely add. So let us now put this graphite which I put on one side towards the center. Yeah, so you can see how shading adds dimension. My basket is now actually looking like a basket. Yeah, so I think that much shading is enough. We want that much brown to show. So moving on to our citrus, I'll add some shade at the beginning here. Yeah. So it's not that if you have added colors there is no need to shade, unless you are adding colors over after drawing and you shade with the colors, there is always a scope to color to shade, I'm sorry. Yeah, so yeah, now moving on to Auraleah, I'm going to add shading to one side. Right, so again at the center probably. Again one side on Auraleah. Right, same with Allium. Going to darken one side. So all the leaves I am shading on one side because I want that high and low effect as if they are folded from the middle. Yeah, so that effect I can get when I shade half as gray and then highlight the other side. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. Darken one side and then highlight the other so that they somehow show like they're folded from the center. Yeah. Yeah, moving on to our Toodleflower under the fescue. You can see how shading has added to an already colored paper also, right? So you can consider shading even if it is colored if you are drawing afterwards. Yeah, let us now add some chalk. So with chalk I'm going to highlight the other side. Don't highlight too much, you want the greens also to be visible. Yes, so just highlight a little so that they just pop up. curl up. Yeah, I think I missed adding gray to this one. So adding colors is always a good idea. The first session I wanted to basically concentrate on how to combine tangles, although that will be the focus in all the sessions. But drawing flowers and leaves and creepers and not adding colors, so looks incomplete. Yeah, although I'm not very good at it, but I try my best. Again, so use a different stump to blend. I at times use my fingers to just soften it. So wherever I have highlighted one part, I am just adding some on the other side without adding too much, because you want the colors to be visible too. Yeah. So again, as far as citrus is concerned, you can always highlight the top a little. Yeah, and this may require some blending, so just pick up your different blending stump and so the moment the color of your paper changes, chalk pencil works very well. Although it is used on white also, but its prominence is much more on non-white paper. For obvious reasons. Contrast. Yeah. So let us add a little graphite on our printums here and there. Small fillers, but always there is a scope to add some shading there, and then highlight the other side. Yeah, there's a big one here, so add some graphite and highlight the other side. Then again on the top of your wings, so basically there is graphite in the center, so I'm just highlighting the ends. Will make the flowers a little more visible, popping up. Yeah, just a touch, not much. And probably one side of the flowers, toodle flower. So all the shading you can do very much on colored paper also, and you can see it is adding to the look of the piece that we are drawing, right? So you can comfortably incorporate all the shading. Right, so I think we have almost covered all except our Wist. Right. So Wist again, I'm just going to highlight the stem. Yeah. So there is not much to do there, but you can always highlight the stem. We'll add a little character to the pattern. Highlight your hidden citrus here. Highlight the center of your basket. Blend it. Yeah, again the Wist flowing from here and there. Nice idea to add. If they are big enough, you can again shade on one side and highlight the other, right? So that's again possible with Wist also, but these are pretty delicate ones, so I'm not going into that. Just highlighting the stem. Yeah, I think we are done with our Wist also. Yeah, that's about it. That's our piece for today. And if you want, you can always give a border, but I don't see much of a need. So we shall close our piece here. I'll just put in my chalk. Small little things left here and there. You can just yeah. So let us just close it here. That's by Sanyukta Saxena. So we'll meet with another set of new tangles in our third session. Probably draw and then add colors after drawing, right? So we'll try out new things. Till then, have a good time. Keep watching the series. Bye-bye.